Thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. I'm Faith Woodard. Rolly Hoyt has the week off. The government shutdown is now in its 30th day, and millions of Americans who rely on SNAP benefits could run out of food as early as Saturday. States like Colorado are suing to keep the program running using emergency funds, while lawmakers talk and argue about a deal. Democrats say any deal must protect health care subsidies, and with the Senate out until Monday, this shutdown may soon become the longest in history. As the government shutdown threatens SNAP benefits for millions, college students in Arkansas are also feeling the pinch. Today, the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance held their 4th annual College Hunger Summit, aiming to help campus pantries better support students struggling with food insecurity. Students, staff, and pantry managers gathered to discuss challenges on college campuses. The summit connected campus food pantries with partners like local food banks, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and national organization Wipe Out Hunger.
But all of our food banks are stepping up in preparation. So they've already been dealing with the federal shutdown with furloughed employees, and now they're going to add the SNAP recipients that no longer have benefits as of Saturday if something isn't done before Saturday. So the need is great.
And with the holidays approaching and federal support programs on hold, organizers say these partnerships and resources are more important than ever to help students get the meals they need. We've spent weeks covering a pending child care crisis in Arkansas. The state saying a loss of federal funds will force them to lower reimbursements to child care providers starting November 1st. THV 11's Carter Thweet has been following this story this whole time, tells us why a big meeting today might have changed that.
That's right, Faith. I told you earlier this week about how an emergency task force of child care providers and lawmakers came up with a solution they said could save child care. And today, the Arkansas Early Childhood Commission is saying they approve of the ideas, but this story isn't over yet.
The Department of Education and the Early Childhood Commission, I do believe that we're moving in a positive direction.
Don Collier, owner of Little Sprouts of Sheridan, is reacting to Thursday morning's meeting of the Arkansas Early Childhood Commission. The commission was going over ideas Collier and people like Northwest Arkansas child care provider Shahid Sheikh came up with during an emergency task force meeting earlier this week.
These are items that I'm happy to report that have been adopted in entirety by the commission, and they have been recommended to the Department of Education and the governor.
These items include a less drastic funding cut for higher rated child care centers and lowering some copays for families based on their income. One child care provider says that many families they've talked to are already struggling with higher copays that went into effect October 1st.
83% of everyone surveyed stated that they could not afford to pay the new copays, that the new copays were too far out of reach for them, 83%.
The commission decided to recommend the new rates to Governor Sanders and Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva, and recommend the lower copays as well, but continue to do more research in that area. The Department of Ed will now have 2 days to decide if they want to make the adjustments before the cuts would go into effect November 1st.
We're hopeful, and we're kind of on pins and needles waiting for tomorrow for an actual announcement to come out to if they actually make changes.
Our immediate call to action is to urge Governor Sanders and Secretary Oliva to move forward with those proposals as the commission has asked for them to be done.
One other thing child care providers have been stressing is that in their opinion, these recent recommendations aren't even a permanent solution, but they say the recommendations would give them a better chance at staying afloat for a few more months before hopefully a permanent fix is found.
Turns out to be a gorgeous fall-like day, crisp, cool conditions. Saying all those words that she doesn't really like this time of year. There are people out there that would love for it to stay about 85 and never drop below that. But for all of you fall shacket wearing, pumpkin spice latte drinking folks, this day is for you. We've got several more just like it. Temperatures will be in the 60s. Lots of gorgeous sunshine and blue skies for your Thursday. Halloween's looking great as well. The kids going trick-or-treating tomorrow night. will more than likely need something to keep the chill off their shoulders. Outside current numbers are in the 50s and low to mid 60s. It was a beautiful day. Little Rock making it to about 61 this afternoon. Lows tonight. Now this is important for those of you that live in those northern Rose counties, northwest and western Arkansas. Your temperatures are going to be close to frost point or frost making considerations. So there is a frost advisory for the River Valley, north central and northwest Arkansas tonight. Morning temperatures in the middle 30s. Got your Halloween forecast, and we'll take a look ahead of your weekend here in just a few minutes.
Tom, thank you. Tonight, we continue our coverage of the trial involving Warren pastor Rocky Goodwin. Goodwin is facing charges of distributing, possessing, or viewing matter depicting sexually explicit conduct involving a child. THV 11's Maya Ellison is back in Warren tonight as day 2 of Goodwin's trial is wrapping up. Maya, what did you learn today?
Yeah, good evening, Faith. Well, more witnesses took the stand today, and we heard cases from both the prosecution and defense, leading us to where we are now, which are closing arguments. Day 2 of the trial for Warren pastor Rocky Goodwin continued Thursday morning. According to Arkansas State Police, Goodwin is accused of, quote, distributing, possessing, or viewing material depicting sexually explicit conduct involving a child. Court records say a search warrant executed in May of 2024 led investigators to seize a laptop from a guest room dresser, where they say dozens of illegal photos and videos were found. Day 1 focused on jury selection. More than 80 people were called and extra seats were brought in to accommodate the crowd. Once selected, the jury heard from Arkansas State Police Special Agent Grant Evans, who testified about photos and evidence showing a black laptop found in Goodwin's guest room. Prosecutors say investigators located 47 Category 1 images and 24 Category 2 images, along with a zip file labeled, quote, 12-year-old girl. Goodwin denied knowingly accessing or sharing the material. The defense claimed it was possible malware or hacking. On the second day of testimony, Digital Evidence Lab Manager Jeff Taylor described his forensic review of the computer in question, detailing file histories and even timestamps. Some images from the device were briefly shown to jurors. One appeared to look away. Taylor testified that although certain files showed signs of a virus, the computer itself was not infected. Several family and community members were also called to the stand. They described Goodwin as a devout, God-fearing man with little to no computer experience. Witnesses said the home was often left unlocked and that they never saw Goodwin use or even possess the laptop computer in question, except for one witness who stated that while she never saw Goodwin use it, she knew of the computer. She testified that the computer linked to the email address was hers, adding that she had, quote, probably set it up for Goodwin's grandson. Yeah, and I do want to also point out that according to what I heard upstairs, defense records indicated that some files were accessed April of 2023 when multiple witnesses, including Goodwin's son, testified and said that he was not home during that respective time period. And as before I left, they were still making closing arguments. And so we hope to provide you with more information at 6 and throughout the day. Back to you.
Maya, thank you. Pine Bluff police are investigating 2 early morning armed robberies that may be connected. In both incidents, multiple suspects stole vehicles at gunpoint. One victim's stolen cell phone led officers to recover a red Dodge Durango, linking it to the first robbery. Detectives are following leads and reviewing surveillance. If you have any information, call Pine Bluff Police. In Little Rock, a high-speed police chase ended in tragedy. It began around 10:15 last night when an Arkansas state trooper tried to stop a red Infiniti on I-30. ASP says the driver, a 20-year-old man, sped over 130 miles per hour, weaving recklessly and striking another driver before crashing into heavy machinery. 2 passengers in the vehicle died at the scene, and the suspect was hospitalized with injuries. Fortunately, the other driver did not suffer any injuries. State police is investigating. Now to an important health alert. Nearly 581,000 bottles of the blood pressure medication Prazosin are being recalled because of a potentially cancer-causing impurity. And while serious risks are unlikely, don't stop taking your medication on your own. If you take the medicine, check your prescription, talk to your pharmacist or doctor, and discuss safe alternatives. Arkansas Secretary of State Cole Jester says his office has found up to 240 non-citizens illegally registered to vote. Using a federal program called SAVE, his team cross-checks voter registration against immigration records to make sure only eligible citizens are on the roll. Jester says one is too many and vows to keep Arkansas a leader in election security. The state has about 1.8 million registered voters. Mountain Valley Spring Water is expanding in Hot Springs, breaking ground on a new 200,000 square foot state-of-the-art production facility. Primo Brand says the multi-million-dollar project will add new production lines and boost efficiency to meet growing demand. The factory is expected to be fully operational by spring 2026, marking the next chapter for the iconic Arkansas brand that's been bottling water from the Ouachita Mountains since 1871.